Good evening. It's Tuesday night, 10 p.m. Time for another episode of Dick Moby. This is episode 9. We're making excellent progress through the book. Only 100 chapters left. Thereabouts. How many chapters have we got left? 109 chapters left. Crazy. I've been completely disorganised tonight. I started rebooting my computer at 9 o'clock because it was behaving a bit sluggishly, and I didn't want this to be anything other than the highest quality broadcast for you fans. For you. I rebooted the computer. Windows then started updating, and 3/4 of an hour later, I just about managed to get my computer up and running again. So I am here on time, but it was all a bit of a panic. So I'm slightly disorganized. I'm trying to find what I need. We've got Twitch chat. We've got the book in front of me. So yeah, good to go. The book being, of course, Moby Dick, the worst book I've ever read. The only book I would like to unread. And so I am unreading it. I'm unreading it to you, for your benefit, and for mine. One day we'll finish this, but not this day. Today we shall probably get through another 3 or 4 chapters. We may update the sperm count. There's the sperm count as it stands, 10 sperm. Lovely little things they are. That is marking our progress through the book. There are 271 individual instances of the word sperm in Moby Dick. And we are using the sperm count as essentially a progress bar to measure up how far we've got through it. We've done 10 sperm, including that one, which was from the word spermaceti, so it's marked with an asterisk. Regular viewers will be well aware of this. So we'll crack right on with it, because I think most people now. I think this has found its audience of maybe 8 people, and we don't really need to go over the rules of engagement every time. So I'm just going to make some progress. Let's crack on and see how we get on with this. Here we go. Hoisted were Burton's the and, executed were orders his. Was it, however, ship his of officer chief important the in, transient, however, disaffection open of symptom slightest the forbade imperiously, circumstance the under, which policy prudential mere or, him in honesty of flash been have made it, acted thus Ahab, Starbuck respecting as that, was it why exactly surmised to vain perhaps were it. It's interesting that we've gone back to discussing the insurance policy. I think Lloyd's of London played a significant role in the original book. I'm not sure how insurance works in reverse. Presumably, the accident that befell Moby Dick at the beginning of this unreading that led to the construction of the ship, the Pequod, will be paid for in instalments by Lloyd's of London, who will pay back Ahab and the crew. Main hold that in outbreak and Burton up, mainyard the back, aft and fore topsails the close reef and t'gallant sails the furl. Crew the to voice his raising then, mate the too lowly said he, Starbuck, fellow a good too, but art thou? Deck the to went he, rack the to gun the returning and relaxed forehead his of plats thick the presently but cabin little the in froen two paced he brow iron and with staff afore musket the using unconsciously then there something there's Ahab of beware Ahab said he that what's disappeared Starbuck as Ahab murmured that bravery careful most obeys nevertheless, but brave waxes he. Yeah, it must be brave to wax, especially out at sea. You get salt in that sensitive skin. Need some Old Spice. I guess you remember the Old Spice adverts from the 80s with was it a surfer or something related to water sports and a man getting soaked with presumably what was neat rubbing alcohol. Man old thyself of beware, Ahab let but Laugh, but wouldst thou, Starbuck of Beware, to not thee ask I that for but, sir, me insulted not, outraged hast thou, said, and instant and for paused. Cabin the quitted he, as and rose calmly half he, emotion his mastering but. Tube levelled, the of blaze the received really had he that thought almost have would you. Cheeks fiery his and mate the of eyes flashing the in instant and for. Deck on! Pequod the overlord is that captain one and earth the overlord is that god one is there, exclaimed Starbuck, towards it pointing, and furniture cabins South Sea men's most of part forming. Rack the from musket loaded as seized Ahab. Captain Ahab, hitherto than better other each understand not we shall. Forbearing be to, sir, dare do I, and entreat do I, yet not, sir, nay. Deck on! Me of think critically to dare as much so then thou dost, devils! Ahab, captain, happier in and I, man younger in resent enough quickly would he what thee in overpass well might I than man better itself of distrustful half than more seemed also within, but itself of manifestation outward slightest the avoid to seeking way every not only not seemed almost it that cautious and respectful strangely so daring with. Cabin the into further moving, mate reddening the said, Ahab, captain? Deck on! Keel ships this in is conscience my. Ye hark and, commander, it's is anything of owner real only the ye look but conscience my were owners the if as owners miserly are. They're arguing over ownership of the boat now. So yeah, who's the main driver of the boat? I guess the rest of them are only named drivers. So it's questionable whether they'll get their full compensation if one of the others was driving at the time, if Starbuck or Queequeg were driving at the time. I guess the problem is if they were caught on a camera, then they'd be able to tell who was driving. But most of the time, you can just kind of run around and swap places before anybody turns up and claim that the main driver was. Owners miserly those about Starbuck, me to prating always art thou. Owners, Ahab cares what? Typhoons the out yell and beach none took it on stand owners the let. Sir, say owners the will what? Hoisted Burtons the have not isle. Starbuck, gale howling life's this in. Found if even it plug to hope how o'er. Hull deep loaded the in it find can who for. Leak my plug. Leak my plug to stop, don't I yet? Man Pequod's the than plight worse far that's and ship leaky in our casks leaky those but casks leaky of full only not leaks in leaks I myself a leak I'm leak it let begone. Yeah, this is. I do feel sorry for Ahab. He's been struggling with this bedwetting problem the whole time. Begone all at that of thinking or speaking not was I and. Sir, hold thee in oil that of speaking was I. It get we if. Is it so? Is it so? Sir, saving worth is get to miles 1,020 come we what. Yea, in good make may we than oil more day one in waste or, sir, that do either. Hoops old of parcel a tinker to weak for here heave to. Japan nearing are we that now. Outbreak and Burtons up. Outbreak and Burtons up must we. Sir, leaking is hold the in oil the. Aye is it. Mistakes Ahab captain. Begone! Deck on! It around turning not but, door that at footstep the hearing. There's who? Again courses old his tracing and brow his wrinkling was, door gangway the to back his with. Man old wondrous the hand his in jackknife out of hook pruning hook, long out with hand. Table his of leg screwed the against braced leg ivory new snow white his with. Sikoke and mats my nifon. Oh, islands Japanese the of coasts eastern long the representing one separate another and. Sorry if my pronunciation of these Japanese islands is as bad as what appears to be as bad as Herman's spelling, but then maybe my spelling's terrible for these. Who knows? Maybe they were. It's an 19th century thing. Give him his credit, he's not that old. Him before spread archipelagos oriental, the of chart general, with Ahab found Starbuck so and Pacific, the into waters China, the from outlets tropical, the of one lies which between isles Bashi the and Formosa, to nigh drawing was Pequod, the west and south the from now. Cargo precious, the in leakage serious, any detect readily mariners the. Water withdrawn, that of character changed the by while, tight damply kept, be to sort our casks hereby. Pumps, ships the by removed is, intervals varying at, afterwards which, sea water with casks the drench and, hold the into hose a conduct, to duty semi-weekly regular is it, board on oil of quantity considerable, any with sperm whaleman in. Woo! It's a sperm whaleman, but we're going to take it. I'm not even going to asterisk this one. I'm going to get rid of the asterisk now from that one because let's face it, you know, it's a proper sperm. He's been on the board long enough. He's part of the family. And sperm whaleman, here we go. Here we go, another sperm coming in. We're going to do him going this way. We've got ourselves a little face there with his eye, the little made up piece that I don't know what it does, and the flagellum, flagellitis, who knows, the parts of a sperm there. Maybe I should write a book that's like, no, I shouldn't write a book. But let's say I was to write a book. I think I would write a book about a man who is obsessed with finding one particular sperm and goes after the sperm against all odds with a crew of 3 or 4 other people who are only marginally interested in sperm. But he's obsessed with this one sperm. And it's that one there. It's the one we just drew. There he is. That's the sperm that he's after. Let's continue. We're so close to finishing this chapter. Look at that, it's right there. You can see it. A fair unfavourable this report to cabin that into down went Starbuck and shown was concern much, leak bad, a sprung have must below casks there. Water the with up came oil inconsiderable no. Lo and morning next ship the pumping were they usage to according. Cabin the in Starbuck and Ahab. 109 chapter. Well, if cabin that in Starbuck and Ahab, why is there so much oil in cabin that in Starbuck and Ahab? Crazy. They've obviously sprayed all the oil in there out of this tube. This hose. I don't know. None of it makes any sense to me. It's very hard to follow. This way round. It's not much easier to follow the other way round, to be honest. But, you know, at least this way round it completely lacks context and occasionally throws up nice little twists of language that make me laugh. And that's about all we can hope for in these dark times. How are you getting on in the dark times? Everything all right? You coping? Yeah, I mean, we're fine here. We're fine. We're getting by. You know? Kids are still reading things forwards, which is good. I'm getting better at reading things backwards. I'm a little concerned that by the end of this, I won't be able to read things forwards again. I'm going to find reading forwards to be entirely confusing. Maybe in reading backwards, in unreading something, my reading age is progressing backwards, and I can take this to its logical conclusion, and I'll be unreading Biff, Chip and Kipper by, you know, a few weeks' time, Whereupon I'll completely forget how to read. And then I'll forget my letters completely by doing the alphabet backwards. Z, Y, X, etc. I can't do the alphabet backwards. I know there's people who can, but I can't. I'm not one of those people. I can do numbers backwards really well. Give me any number to start at, and I'll start going backwards from there. I could do all the numbers backwards, but not the alphabet. There's no system to it. I get lost around sort of Q's and P's. There's a lot of those middle order trash letters there that just confuse me. Now, sandpaper and file chisel. So, latitude the up figures he wear, ivory smoothed, slate oval little the forgot almost I. Halloa! It on altitudes taking be heel. Tomorrow, this, no need to hyphenate tomorrow. Tomorrow's just one word, Herman. It's just a word. You can just use it as a word. Tomorrow, this on standing be heel. Core the, but nothing to down filed. Leg live real. Like looks it. Is this leg a what? That's not, how is that not a question? What? Oh, right. Is this leg a what? Again, up'em fill to. Barrels beer old collecting round go brewery men as, false or true, legs all for horn his with a calling comes fellow resurrection the before it finish let's hand. Screws those with their hand a bear. Smut you there, halloa! Cord the by legs bone outwears now and life for other the spavined. That's a word I'm not acquainted with. Spavined. Other the spavined and death to leg one driven. Look, driver hard he's Ahab but coach horses old roly-poly uses lady old tender-hearted as mercifully them use they because be must that and lifetime elast's legs of pair one folks must for now. What's he on about? Enough, quite enough, sure. Slim and long leg herons the here's and lifeboats for cry great are theirs and quick pretty chin that under you chucks water the captain's heron built tall with waters deep into outweighed to undertake never should me like body old little short then haphazard like only that's but say they sometimes strange thoughted of sort I'm quite me at scornful so looked he wonder don't I that was how hell one in standing places three all and places three in standing leg one about now that was what this on stand heel leg his is this and wife a for jawbone whales of stick a has bedfellow his hears it of think I that now yes leg his hears and queer very queer sir queer time that all Starbuck mister into it dinning keeps and queer he's Stubb says queer he's queer word little sufficient one that but nothing says queer. If I see the word queer again I'm going to start questioning whether it's actually a word. Queer he says always Stubb and all of best him knows Stubb well work is resuming. Carpenter. What's that? Who writes like that? It's like he's left a note to himself. Must fill this bit in with something about the carpenter. Oh shit, I forgot to go back and check that. Yeah. No editors in the 19th century. They just write whatever they want, these people. So, vertebra compendious, small one to down myself, dissolve and it into and crucible, aget isle, heavens by, with brag I tongue the in flesh, the for I yet and, worlds the was which, empire Roman the of auction the at Praetorians wealthiest the with bid for bid given have could I. Rich so am I. Books world's whole that in down I'm and ere as free be would I. Ledgers with away do not will which into indebtedness mortal that be cursed. On stand to bone. A for blockhead this, to debtor standing yet and. God Greek as proud. Am I here? Life, oh, go to turns. Me to it bring and then it at away bungle. I really didn't expect to see bungle at the end of that paragraph. Nice to see him still getting work. Sir, our and perhaps done his leg the before long how premises grant never should pudding heads. Pudding heads ye look. Sir, figure small a carry didn't I think I again overcalculate must I that to comes it if sir truly Lord good. Ha! Body a without and ever for hell of pains fiery the feel. Carpenter thou not mayst why then dissolved long so now be it though leg crushed my of smart the feel still I if and speak don't hold eavesdroppers fear not thou dost then ours solitary most thy in spite thy in there standing and I standest now thou where precisely standing uninterpenetratingly precisely standing uninterpenetratingly and invisibly be not may thinking living entire some that know thou dost how then hist. Sir, poser at it call humbly should I. Riddle at ist? I do. Here at to there exactly, there. Life tingling feelest thou where? Soul the two yet two, oh crikey, hang on. Soul the two yet. I the two-leg distinct one only is here. Now, so, was once mine where place the in here leg live thy put. Look, man is it? Sir, so really be it if ask humbly I may. Times at him pricking still be will it but. Spar old his of feeling the loses entirely never man dismasted. That how? Sir, score that this is a really awkward passage. There's so many, it's all the little words. When he writes just tiny little words one after another, staccato fashion, it's really hard to read. I mean, you know, backwards. Obviously short words forwards. Anyone can read, a child can read. Not my child, but children generally can read forwards, short words forwards. But it really throws you when you're trying to read it backwards. In fact, I can't even remember where I was. Dismasted. That out. Sir, score that uncurious something heard have I. Yes, now somewhat understand to begin I, sir, truly. Away, Adam old, that drive not thou canst. Mean I, one blood and flesh the leg lost old my carpenter is that it with place identical same that in leg another feel nevertheless shall I. Makest thou leg this mount to come I when if work thy for well thoroughly speak it will then well. Eh? workman like good right thyself callest thou say dare I carpenter ye look. Dear oh, now you feel dear oh yes so guess I oh sir noses people's living under thyself bury never sound advice. Dead art thou when and then hint the take. Sir, dusty rather is bone. About sneezing thou art what? Impious fellows the. Sir, ditches to clay leave will we. Leave we. I'll put an extra word in there to make it make sense. Sir, ditches to clay leave we. Mud that's. Sir, clay? Clay? Sir? Clay in work rather thou wouldst or. Carpenter, herein art thou business of sort gentleman-like, extremely an. Say may I and tidy very no but that's why carpenter to spoke you that sir thought I. Pistols presented then worse is light thrusted. Man for face my into thief catcher that thrusting thou art what? Turn my serve sorry turn my serve will one sir to here. Hey, that's ho ho. I'm sorry if I laugh occasionally at what I'm doing. The thing is, I'm doing it, right? I know it's not a matter of fun for anyone else. It's not for you. I find it funny. I laugh because it's funny. But it's only funny to me, I grant you. You know, I go to bed at night sometimes and I lie there next to my lovely wife who's dozing off to sleep. She gets to sleep very, very quickly. And I'm plagued by thoughts all the time. In fact, I can dream myself awake laughing. I very often am reduced to tears of laughter in bed for no apparent reason. I can't tell her why, because I know that's going to annoy her even more when she realises the stupid banality that has made me actually laugh so hard that I have to cry into my pillow while she tries to get to sleep. She hates it. She absolutely hates me for it. That's largely like this, except that I don't have to lie next to you. You get a pass in that respect. You can just watch this on the internet and not understand why I'm laughing, whereas my wife has to lie next to me in bed and not understand why I'm laughing. So just think yourself lucky, and let's continue. Where was I? Oh yeah, I read the dusty, the bone, the clay sir, carpenter, ho, hey, thrusting thief catcher. I thought carpenter, yes, carpenter to spoke you that sir, thought I. Pistols present. Oh, I've read that. Pistols presented. Tell you what, let's just read it again. This sentence here, I may have read twice. I may have unread twice. If that's the case, you can read it for yourself forwards at some later date to redress the balance. Pistols presented, then worse is light thrusted. Man for face into my thief catcher that thrusting thou art what? Oh, that's the one that made me laugh. And then I went into that whole aside. Aside. Turn my serve, will one. Sir, two are here. Hey, that's ho. Lantern I have must I. No. One here's dome blind. I make to architecture indifferent, but 'tis. Aside. Here standing. I'll do it aside. I'll try and do it aside, but I'll have to keep looking at the page, right? Because I haven't got the book here. I can't read it. I can't do an aside like that. I'll do it that way so that I'm actually facing the microphone. You can even hear what I'm saying then. I can't do it to the side like that as an aside because I don't have the book. I don't actually physically have the book. I have it on the screen. It makes it easier for me to do it and you can see what I'm reading then, or unreading. If you want to follow along, you need to go to gutenberg.org/files/2701/2701-h/2701-h.htm #link2h_EPIL. That's where this book is on the internet. You can find it to read along, but I wouldn't recommend it. As an aside, I'm going to try and do it like this, okay? It's there. I'm going to do it there. Aside. Here standing keep I shall. No to like should I. To speaking he whose and about I feel like Data from Star Trek. You know, the great American story of adventure. And whose and about speaking he what's now. Because he does this, doesn't he, with his head. When he's not sure about something. He looks like he's got some kind of malfunction. Why would you make an android that does that? Why not make an android that doesn't do that? Or is it so that you know he's an android? Is it so you can tell, so that people aren't freaked out because they walk over to him and in which case somebody with, I don't know, some kind of a twinge in their neck, some kind of spinal injury, might be mistaken for an android and asked serious questions about astronavigation. And they just say, well, I don't know, left a bit, bearing 316 mark something, I don't know. And they go, oh, how have we ended up here? We're in completely the wrong place. And they go, well, you just asked me. I'm just a guy with a spinal injury. Sorry, I thought you were an android. Aside, I read this. Who's speaking now? Away and order the take there. Inwards illuminate to head his of top on light, skylight. Put, no. Outward see to eyes order I shall. I shall? Question. See me let and brains fine of acre and of quarter about and forehead brass all at heart no wrist the through feet 3 arms. Then give this guy an anatomy lesson. Feet 3 arms, then place 1 in stay 2 to roots with legs, then tunnel Thames the after model chest, then socks his in high feet 50 imprimi, who knows? Pattern desirable after man, complete at order isle. It about is Prometheus, while hold. Sir? Pack crushing with aboard peddler are theirs. Shoulder blades steel of pair a forge to him tell. Buckle that with through he's when carpenter of Africans of Africans the made Greek. The remainder the be must this. I can't even work out if that's racist backwards. Flies soot the how probable hells so and fire to belong properly must fire in made what's for. Fire with them animated and blacksmith a been have should, say they, men made who, Prometheus, Greek old that thing meaning most, and now it deem do I. Must he so? Work fine of kind this for heat white the have must he, sir I. There flame red fierce makes he, part muscle the supplies he, partnership at its. Right? Right. Now, sir, buckle screw the forging be must he. About he what's, mean I, blacksmith there about Prometheus. What's man hold can that world slippery this in something feel to like I. Grip good alike I, fear no. Beware, beware. Bones break will it, sir, oh. Some pinch does it. So, once grip it's feel me let. Carpenter, here hast thou vice cogent, is this. It on finger thy keep, there, it about. Time first the knot it's well. Good. Leg for measured. Sir, measure me let. Length the mark now will I. Pleases Captain the if. Sir, time injust. Man-maker, well. Times at sneezing continues carpenter the scene ensuing the during. Advancing. Ahab. Is he writing this as a play? I'm starting to understand that this has now become a play. It wasn't before. I hope the rest of the book isn't like this. Certain that's else somebody it's or comes here. I can even backwards I can tell this bit's really badly written compared to what we read before. There was some at least nice sort of pleasant language and turns of phrase. Even backwards I could tell that in some of the what's gone before or gone after in the book as we progress backwards through it. This is abysmal. This is terrible to read. There's no elegance in this chapter at all. And now he's completely foregone writing action by just, he's essentially writing dialogue by saying this is what people said to each other when they're not even speaking, and then every now and again telling us a little snippet of what people are undoing, which is confusing at best this way around, because how are we supposed to know what they're undoing until after they've already undone it? Ugh. Let's continue. Let's fight our way through this. I can't go on forever. It's just there. Excellent. I don't normally look ahead. I like to be taken by surprise by the end of chapters, but this is getting desperate. Certain that's else somebody it's or comes he here. Look in are we. Heal the that's ha. Guess I anything if short two. Right all be with will. Oh right all be will length the weather sea and mogul ship old his call must I. Now, off it saw I before, there. Legs live like just, lotions and washes with, sneezes. Maybe should I do sneezing? I'll do a sneeze, that's what I'll do in between. Let's see if I can do it. Legs live like just, if it's a play, then I might as well get into the spirit of it and actually act this out. Okay, I'm going to choose an accent for this as well. No, I'm not going to choose an accent. Whatever accent I choose, other than my own, would be offensive. I'm going to choose a generically northern, reasonably well-spoken human being. Northern England, with occasional sneezing as we go through. I'm a northerner with a cold. I'll at least try and do a cold. Legs live like just lotions and washes with... I don't know where I was going with that. That's exactly the kind of accent I didn't want to end up with. Legs live like just lotions and washes with... Achoo! Sneezes doctored be to have and... Rheumatic get course of and... Do they, water soak they, all at compare wouldn't windows shopping seen I've legs of calves and legs, buckskin those, parlour in lady to scraped, ever as now leg neat as out him turn could I, time the had only but I if time on finish good a put to like should I only, hop poles making as easy its why, shinbone mere a but, a little a puzzle might that make to knee joint know there's that was more of a trump. I don't know what kind of sneeze that was. More of a trump, that one. Let's go again. Knee joint know there's now looky presently them for ready be I'll buckle screw and ferrule that have let's and hand a bear there smut old you come I'm doing this. I know these sneezes are very realistic. Don't send a doctor. I'm fine. It get don't you and bone live at amputate. Dost this get don't you and tree live I saw lumber dead in working for now gets fellow old and what is this? Speak me let won't it soul my bless achoo! I can't even be bothered now. Achoo! It's yes. Poosh! It's why. Is dust bone this. Hello achoo! Better works this now I. Another try let's. No, let's not. Shinbones and jaws. Old file who go we so. Hard B should which soft is that and. Soft B should which hard is that. Bone the drat and. File the drat. Work at is blacksmith the where. Seen is forge that of flame red the forward. Bench the about lying sorts all of tools various and screws, pads, straps, leather, ivory of slabs. Vice the in fixed firmly is joist which leg the for joist ivory the filing busily lanterns two of light the by and vice bench his before standing carpenter. Watch night first, deck the carpenter the and Ahab. 108 chapter. Crikey Moses, that was quite a chapter, wasn't it? That was awful. Frankly awful. Let's do something different for a second. I asked earlier on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, then I absolutely can't blame you. Someone does though. Xenobite Zero, better known by his real name of Ewan. I actually know Ewan personally, or at least I used to. I worked with him once upon a time. I asked for people to send me facts about whaling, but in particular facts about whaling as related to the Final Fantasy series of video games, because the Final Fantasy VII remake has just come out this week. Now, they've had to remake it because the first one was so shit. That's not true. A lot of people like it, but I don't. In fact, if I could unplay a video game, then I'd unplay that. But unfortunately, you can't do that. You can't just read it backwards. Although there is a lot of reading in it, you'd still have to play it forwards. I think I would have to contact... Maybe if this unreading of Moby Dick turns out to be wildly successful, as I expect it to, once the BBC picks up on what I'm doing for you, for the people... eventually I'll have the sort of clout, the social media clout, to get Square Squeenix, however you pronounce them, to remake the remake of Final Fantasy VII, but in reverse, so I can unplay it and thereby have corrected the errors of my youth. I've never finished Final Fantasy VII. I get sidetracked every single time, even if I'm following a guide. I just can't be bothered with it at all. Same goes for Final Fantasy VIII, which I've also tried, and Final Fantasy VI, which I tried recently. I played for literally 12 minutes before I was so frustrated and bored by it. But anyway, I have here a quote from Xenobyte Zero relating Final Fantasy to whaling. I believe this fact to be actually factual, which wasn't actually a requirement of my request. I did say specifically that the facts could be, let's say, questionable at best. But you and Xenobyte Zero has... that's not his real name. Xenobyte Zero is his Twitter handle, so you understand. You can... I hope he doesn't mind me saying that. He walked right into this. Anyway, he said, did you know... I didn't know. At least I'd forgotten. Did you know that the Final Fantasy, I guess that's what it's called. I just call it Final Fantasy. Am I getting it wrong? Is it called The Final Fantasy? Plus there's like 15 of them now. It shouldn't be called that. It should be called The Ongoing Fantasy. The Never-Ending Fantasy. There's nothing final about it, and they know that. It's false advertising. If they made one that was definitely going to be the Final Fantasy, I'd probably buy it just to make sure they know that, yes, I accept their apology. This is the final. Did you know that the Final Fantasy also has a summonable creature known as the Leviathan and was directly influenced by the Moby Dick novel, as the animation takes too fucking long to reach its climax and also is a complete waste of time except in very specific circumstances? Well, that is a quote I can definitely get behind. I don't remember the Leviathan from Final Fantasy. It can't have been that exciting. I think it probably appears out of nowhere. If I understand what he means by a summonable creature, this is something that you cast a spell, it appears out of nowhere, an animation plays while you go and make a pizza or get a cup of tea, and by the time you come back, the whole sequence has played out, but you miss the end of it, so you don't know what it... you never find out actually what happens at the end of it, but some mediocre particle effect plays, and some numbers pop up saying you did 20 damage to a frog because it turns out that frogs are impervious to whales, which there was no way of knowing. Yeah, that's probably true. I also think the word also, the word also here is doing some heavy lifting. Did you know that the Final Fantasy also has a summonable creature known as the Leviathan? Is he implying that Moby Dick has a summonable creature known as the Leviathan? Is Moby Dick like the boss Leviathan and can summon his minion, the Leviathan, to do his dirty work? Maybe we'll find that out as we progress further through this work of fiction, which I shall do right now. What did we get? So far, 1 sperm, 2 chapters. Let's hope this one's a short chapter. See if I can rattle it off before the end of this hour. Anyway, thanks, Ewan. I appreciate your input there. I don't know any other facts associating Moby Dick and Final Fantasy. I don't know any facts about either of those things, let alone both together. The only fact I know about Final Fantasy is that in the pre-production work in the prototype of the original Final Fantasy VII, the 3D models, the original Cloud Strife model was just the Tomb Raider lady, but squashed down in the Z-axis, which is why all the animations, even in the remake, are just retargeted animations from the original. Not even they haven't even updated it. It's just the same animations from Tomb Raider 1 throughout all of the Final Fantasy VII and associated media, even the film. If you watch the film, it's obvious that it's Lara Croft, really, just squashed down a little bit. Awake himself, keep to time the all talking, and their guard on soliloquizer, this and sentry box was body his, rather or soliloquizes hummingly also, which wheel unreasoning and like only but soliloquizing time that of part great a him kept that was it this him in life principle cunning unaccountable same this was it this and excuse me Windy pops. This and more or years 60 some now for abided had it there and was it there, but telling no is there. Hartshorn of drops few at or quicksilver of essence whether was that what duty it did anomalously somehow that something subtle had he him in soul common have not did he if automaton and of machine mere no all after was carpenter open and shut omnitooled this hinted previously as yet omnitooled. It's like Shakespeare, this guy Herman. He's just making them up. Were they there and were they there and sorry, I was just put off by omnitooled. I just picture this carpenter's only tool being a Swiss Army knife. He's going to try and replace his leg with the toothpick. Were they there and legs the by up him take tweezers. There you go, tweezers. See, that's on the other side from the. He's obviously lost the toothpick and he's going to use the tweezers for both legs. Give him a little like that. Not like it doesn't make that noise. I mean, that's kind of the squeaking of the tweezers. I don't know. I'd use that. You remember the one? There were two that looked like bottle openers, and you never knew what the other one was for, did you? Tweezers for if or fast was screw that, and that's very Michael McIntyre kind of observation. Just say something about a penknife. Screw the and, yeah, screw that and. Him of part that open to was due to had they all. Screwdriver afore carpenter, the used to wanted superiors his if so. Countersinkers, nail filers, rulers, pens, awls, tweezers, corkscrews, screwdrivers also, but sizes various of blades only. He has got a fucking penknife. It is a penknife. I knew it. An omnitool. Good grief. Blades only not containing but knife pocket common out of swelled little though exterior the assuming contrivances Sheffield. Have I missed? Oh, I missed a line out. Sorry. Containing but knife pocket. Oh no, I didn't. I just got so confused because I was reading it backwards. Knife pocket common out of. Oh, I'm losing the plot. Let's start again. Scroll. No, let's carry on from where we were. Containing but knife pocket common out of swelled little though exterior the assuming contrivances Sheffield parvo in multum useful highly still but unreasoning those of one like was he. Fingers his of muscles the into a long oozed early have must one had ever and he if brain his manipulator pure was he process literal spontaneous dumb and deaf of kind by merely but uneven or even these all of intermixture any by or it to tutored been had he because simply or instinct by or reason by much so work to seem not did he trades numerous his in for unintelligence of sort at involved him in uncompromisedness strange this that say almost might you. Next the or world this to reference premeditated without living babe newborn as uncompromised integral unfractioned crikey some advanced mathematics integral unfractioned and abstract stripped was he him to pertained originally have might clingings outward small whatever off rubbed had more is what but moss no gathered had only not fro and to rolling much whose wanderer lifelong been had carpenter old this that it was ark knowers of forecastle bearded the on watch midnight the during time the past to served have might as such wittiness grizzled certain I love these long paragraphs, they do my nut. Wittiness grizzled certain with then and now unstreet not humorousness wheezing antediluvian crutch like old and with times that dashed oddly it was yet heartlessness all ramifying and appeared it as too involving him in stolidity half horrible this was yet cathedrals for foundations dig you though You ignores and peace it holds eternally still, modes uncounted inactive pauselessly, while which world visible hold that indiscernible stolidity general the with one seemed it that things of infinite surrounding that into off shaded so it for say I impersonal were it as stolidity impersonal certain affle than remarkable more that more man this was nothing for. So precisely not but intelligence of vivacity uncommon some argue to seem would this all to him in expertness of liveliness such with and accomplished various Jesus. This is hard work, Herman. Doughy language, Herman. You've lost something. Accomplished variously thus field a wide so upon now while but capstans for held lightly he themselves man. Top blocks but deemed he heads, ivory of bits accounted he teeth, all in respect without and indifferent alike, and points all that prepared was carpenter this thus. Tooth the draw him have would he if that in jaw his clap that in jaw his clap to him signs carpenter the vice wooden his of handle the round whirling operation unconcluded the under winces unmanageably fellow pour the butt there seated be him bids bench his upon hand one clapping and pincers out carpenter the toothache the has another ears his drills carpenter the earrings shark bone where to fancy a takes sailor a constellation the supplies symmetrically carpenter the wood of vice big his in or each screwing or every his of blade the upon painted be to stars vermilion for longed stub lotion soothing a concocts carpenter the wrist his sprains oarsman an it for cage pagoda looking a makes carpenter the ivory whale sperm of crossbeams and I'll do that in a sec. I'm on a roll here. Sperm of crossbeams and bone right whale of rod shaved clean of out captive a maid is and board on strays plumage strange of land bird lost a smaller it files straight away and vices ever ready his of one into it claps carpenter the hole it's into inserted easily be to large two found is pin belaying a right. One more sperm for the road. Here we go. Where's he going? Where's he going? I might have to turn the U into a sperm as well. Really running out of space quickly. I'm going to do a little one down here. Going against the stream. Here we go. He's going this way. Maybe he knows something the others don't. Yeah? This one appears changing his mind, isn't he? That one there is looking at him going, where's he going? What does he know? Is it up the other fallopian tube? Is that even anatomically possible? What is a fallopian tube? Is that something I have? Or my wife has? Who knows? I'm going to assume that's the last of the sperm for today. I'm going to put the pen away. Try works the of rear the against athwart ships lashed securely was bench this. Alongside were whales when except times all at. Wood of and iron of both and. Sizes different of. Vices several with furnished table ponderous rude longer. Vice bench his was. Manifold so parts various his all enacted he where stage grand wonder. I'm assuming that all these sperms are in action. Doing what they should be doing, but actually these sperms they could have come out by accident. They could have been spent on purpose in a wasted. They could have fallen on stony ground in a lay-by. I don't know where the sperm are. I'm assuming there's an egg to be found, but maybe those sperms are futile, dying in the cold, hard winter, of an alley in somewhere. Poor things. Poor things. Maybe, I mean, they're all on the boat, right? So, yeah. Is it warm where they are? I don't know. Near Japan somewhere. I bet these sailors have done a lot of that, you know. I bet there's a lot of that been spilled already. But although, actually, going backwards, these sperm, maybe what I should have done, I missed a trick, didn't I? What I should have done was I should have drawn 270 sperm to start with, 271, and rubbed them out as we came to them because we're going backwards. As the sperm are sucked backwards into the sailor's testicles. If that's actually what's happening, I have no idea. That's a lot of sperm to draw, though. That's what I'll do for next time. I'll get the big board and I'll draw 271 sperm, and we can ceremonially rub out all these sperm from that other board, and then we'll be up to date, won't we? And we'll have a big board. I can put it on the. I'll put it on the wall here behind me. You see, I've got this wall. This wall here is. That's a real wall. This isn't a fancy green screen background. This is the real wall behind me. I can prove it. Look. I won't bang too hard because people will think there's somebody trying to get in. But that's a real wall there. I mean, it's a partition wall between two rooms, but it's not load bearing. But it's a wall, genuine wall. I could put the sperm on there, on the big board, and we could rub them off. And if anybody gets the Doctor Strangelove reference there, well done. Capricious and useful, both aptitudes conflicting of manner, all inexpert unhesitatingly, moreover has he. Business special to his pertaining directly, more matters miscellaneous other and. Planks side that in tree nails, not tree tails, don't be silly. Tree nails new or, deck that in eyes, bulls inserting, oars clumsy bladed, of shape the reforming, spars sprung, boat stove repairing. Duties ordinary in readiness his of speak to not for. Seas far distant and uncivilized in. Voyage years 4 or 3 at upon. Ship large in recurring continually emergencies mechanical nameless thousand. In those inefficient singularly was Pequod the of carpenter this. Above remark generic. The of him to application the besides but. Material auxiliary and as would with due to have less or more, which handicrafts numerous, those of all trunk, outbranching, and ancient, there being pursuit carpenters there. Own his to collateral callings and trades numerous, in experienced alike extent practical, off-handed certain atu, was he, vessels whaling to belonging those especially more and carpenters, ships, seagoing, all like. Please end. Yes. Perfect. Stage this on person incomes now he, hence duplicate no was carpenter Pequod's the abstraction humane, high the of example and furnishing from far and, was he though humble most but, hereditary and contemporary both, duplicates unnecessary of mob seem they, part most the for and, mass in mankind take, points same the from but, woe and grandeur wonder seems he and, alone man abstracted high take and, Saturn of moons thee among sultanically thyself seat. Carpenter the 107 chapter. Well, rubbish. 3 chapters. I was really hoping to get a few more in there today, but we didn't. We got a handful of sperm. And what was it? 3 chapters, 109, 108, 107, but still very enjoyable. We found a little bit more about the insurance policy on the Pequod, and then lots and lots of nonsense about the carpenter and his work. Disappointing, but I think this is the pattern of things to come. This will be the shape of the book from now on. We are going to be facing increasingly florid descriptions of whaling and parts of ships and the operations thereof, and less descriptions of the actions of the crew on those ships, the characters involved, or the exciting business of actually catching whales. It's disappointing, but nevertheless, that is what we're facing. 107 chapters now to go. 106? Yes, 106 chapters to go. Containing nothing of any interest whatsoever until the scene when Queequeg and Ahab are in bed together in about chapter 6, which is quite funny. I'm looking forward to unreading that. it'll be a shame to evict it from my mind, but it must be done. I'm going to go now because I've done an hour, and that's plenty. That's plenty for anyone. You don't deserve more than an hour. I mean, I could carry on. I may just carry on in my own time, but you're not going to get to see it. You only get to see it in these little short stints. If you like this short stint and you'd like to support something, then down there is the address of the National Video Game Museum, which you should give money to during this time of isolation, because they're not doing so well, because they've got no business. No one's going because you can't. They've had to shut. It'd be good if you can give them some money so they don't have to shut forever, because that'd be awful if they did. Don't give me money. If you want to support me, you can click some of the buttons that are around the screen, whether that's following me on Twitch. My Twitch address is, what is it? I'm going to look on the screen, it's up there. twitch.tv/Barry_1. That's the word one, Barry_ONE 1. You'd know that if you're watching it on Twitch because you're already there, but you can follow me on there. YouTube has buttons. They have loads of buttons. You can click all them. There's some great buttons. There's one that's like that, one that's like that. I don't really mind which you click. Just click some, because, you know, everybody likes buttons. You should join me on Friday, this Friday, when this will happen again, almost identically to this episode. The only significant difference being the addition of wine. Other than that, I can't think why it would differ in any substantial way, nor any episode for the next 100 or so. Now go to bed. It's a work night. Go to bed. Why are you still up? I suppose you could be watching this in the day on YouTube. Get back to work. Why are you watching this during the day on YouTube? Come on, you're a key worker. Sort it out. I'm not. I can do anything. I can do what I want. But you can't. You're busy. Get on with it.